All right, folks, welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and this is episode 350. 350 episodes, just moving right along. Hey, man, look, I hope everything has been going well for you guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed your Monday, and we're off into a Tuesday. Today, we're going to be talking about Atlanta Falcons rookies, talking about the press conference that they had, and a few questions that they answered. And I'm just going to spotlight each one of these guys on the screen, and I'm going to talk about the other guys as well, just giving you a little background on what they said. But there was a few sound bites that they had that really stood out. There's a few of them that stood out, and I really want to talk about those and give you my opinions on what they said and what it means for this team. If this is your first time here, welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. Just did a video on some Georgia Southern players. They transferred over to other schools. Not much going on in the Georgia Southern camp, but to keep the guys who are interested in Georgia Southern what's going on, I try to give you as much news as possible. So if you want to check that out, that was the last video I put up. If you're here for Atlanta Falcons stuff, I mean the news just keep coming and it just keeps getting better. And the more I listen to these guys, it just seems like we're building something completely different from what we've seen from the past 5, maybe, in some cases you can even say 10 years. It is that good just off of what we know so far. But it nothing really matters until we get on the field and start playing some games. So you can take this for what it is. I'm taking it one step at a time. And every step I take or every step that I see these guys take is just getting much better and better. If you want to listen to this outside of YouTube Rumble, I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, so you can listen to this whenever you get ready. You don't have to wait for the YouTube uploads. You can download it to your favorite device and be your own program manager. All right, let's get into this. Before I get into the sound bites, I want to say, look, we have a very special draft class this go around. I know last year was pretty decent. There was a lot of question marks with some of the guys. Some of the guys still have question marks on them. But unless these guys just don't live up to what they're saying, if they're not about what they say they're about, it's going to be really hard to say these guys ain't on point. These guys, if they walk out how they talk it, we're going to be in for a treat for years to come with these rookies. It's going to be really nice to see these guys come in and contribute. And if they're talking like this and they're playing like this, they don't even have to play like this. If they're just going to give you that, that same energy, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And we're talking about a span of 7 to 8 guys. And in some draft classes, you are only good when you basically hit, 1 or 2. You know what I mean? So now I had to put my shades on because, if you're watching on the YouTube and Rumble, I love wearing my shades now. I used to do this in the earlier episodes, but now I'm back at it. So I really love wearing my shades. But nevertheless, these guys look like they're ready to go. And I'm not just talking about physically. They just want to go out there and jump in and play some football. They just have this mental capacity about them. And this whole thing about the game being mental, you kind of see it coming from these guys. You kind of see where these guys are really bringing everything in that they're learning through these mini camps. What they learned since they've been drafted. Hell, even taking in what they learned in college and bringing it to the NFL. Because football is football at the end of the day. It's just at the most part, it's just faster. It's more information and it's faster. But these guys look like they're ready. They're like they're ready to take on that challenge. And this is just amazing from what these guys are saying compared to what our other draft class has been doing and saying. We're just going to get into. I'm going to start with Desmond Ridder, and I'm going to give you his soundbite of what he said about teammates getting better. And you're also going to listen to Ebiketie about who the guys he been watching and learned the game from. You're also going to listen from John Fitzpatrick where he talks about how well how much intensity he likes to bring to the game. And you're going to listen to Drake London. And what Drake London says not even compared, but if you contrast it with what Desmond Ridder is saying, these guys could be a really good duo for years to come. I would love to see what these guys do the next 2 or 3 years minimum. Because I think these guys are going to be something special because they just come off as if they want to do this. They want to do this. They want to be in a position to be great. And I don't even know what else to say about that. I just think it's just something. It's a beautiful thing. I got my headphones on, so we're gonna go through these sound bites, and I'm basically just gonna tell you, my thoughts and opinions about what these guys said. And this is just phenomenal. I love every bit of it. You know what I mean? For me, I just can't. It's hard for me to put it in words and really just think about what these guys really, are putting out there at such an early. I mean, day 2 of minicamp. They're not trying to hit you with sound bites and nothing like that sounds flashy or whatever. These guys are about business. And Desmond Ridder was asked about bringing teammates along and how good that they can be. And this is what he said. I'm going to play it right here. Hope you guys can listen.
Yeah, that makes me think that, whatever I'm doing, I want to win it. And that's just who I've been ever since I was a little kid to now. It doesn't matter. I want to win. And that's what I not only try to, feed onto everyone else and everyone on the team, but try to instill that in them too, that just go out there and be a winner. Like I said, if there's one person on this team that don't think that they're the best person when they step on this field, then we're at a disadvantage already. So let's get the guys that think, we're always the best. Like, let's go be the best because we put in the work to be the best and then go prove it.
I mean, when you hear stuff like that, I'm going to be honest. I haven't heard that from a quarterback in Atlanta for a long time. To be honest, I can't think of one. And I'm not even throwing shade at Matt Ryan or whatever, but I don't remember hearing, maybe, some guys will pull up some sound bite that sounds something similar just to say, oh, they did say this, say that. That's fine. But I can't remember somebody who's not only just saying that he wants to be the best, he wants to win, and he wants other people to be the best, and they want to win as well. He wants guys on his team like that. And if they're not that, we need to find a way to make them think that way. Or, in other words, the way I take it is to get them off the team and get somebody else who feels that confident. And that's what you want out of every player that's running with you. Every player that's running with you should have that mentality. There's no question about it. And I love to hear that just from the beginning, just to kick this off, is like, compared to what we've heard in the past from other players who come in, don't get me wrong, I like Marlon Davidson, don't get me wrong, but the soundbite he gave about moving guys around and he takes he takes a lot of joy in doing that. That sounds good. That sounds good. But, I don't even want to talk about the Tech McKinley thing. Don't even want to go there. And I know there's another soundbite that I can't think of, but I can't remember hearing from guys who just want to be better every day. And it starts with the quarterback here. And with this quarterback saying what he's saying, it means a lot. It means a whole lot. Not only to him, but the players around him. This is what leadership looks like. Matt Ryan had it, and if you really want to go back, Michael Vick had it at times. Chris Chandler had it. So, when you have these quarterbacks that breeds leadership, this is the type of stuff you want to hear. And I'm thoroughly, surprised. The more I listen to this guy, the more I feel like, I like Marcus Mariota, but I would not be surprised at some point that he take the reins of this team sooner rather than later. And I know that's based off one soundbite, but I'm looking at everything else that comes along with them. Everything. It's just something about these guys who just bring that leadership energy. The guys that bring that leadership mentality, who knows what to say and say the right things. And on top of that, look like they can perform at a high level, who's shown that they can perform at a high level. This is the type of stuff you want to see. Now I'm about to jump over here to Ebiketie, and I want to let you know what he said about who the guys that he modeled his game behind. And why is that so important for a guy who's definitely learned how to be a pass rusher in the NFL. And with the talent and the speed he has, I have no doubt that this is a possibility that it can happen. Let's roll the clip.
Yeah, I mean, I study guys like Von Miller, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa. Some of the guys, like I said, it comes down to being consistent. Those are the guys that have been consistent over the years, and I studied them a lot, try to see different moves that they do, try to incorporate that into my own game, just to sit in the game, just trying to get better.
So basically, he just named 3 or 4 pass rushers that are just at the top of their game. Now, I said this in a Discord before. I don't feel that any of these pass rushers are Bosa or a Chase Young. I firmly believe that. And I'm not disrespecting any other guys who was taken before Ebiketie, but everybody is pretty much on the even playing field when it comes to. I don't think any of these pass rushers stand out from one another. But I do feel that we got a really good one. And if he decides that he wants to mimic his game or take something from each of those guys and bring his own style to it, you're gonna have a phenomenal pass rusher. And I already see what he could do in Penn State. I see what he could do at Temple. And he look like he's ready to go. And it's just the sound mind of these players, the grounded portion of these players, the guys that don't feel like they're bigger than the game. They're coming in learning. They're learning. They're showing off, letting you know that they're showing off their talents. But at the same time, it's one day at a time. It's 1 week at a time. It's closer and closer till we get to real practices and real training camp with all the other veterans and different workout drills before the preseason and other walkthroughs and all this other stuff. And when real practice happens, when you're actually hitting each other, these guys are taking it all in one step at a time, and they're taking it in as slow as possible, even though the game is very, very fast. This is great. And I love every bit of this. So when you're learning the type of players that you're getting, you're starting to figure it out. These are the type of players you're getting, some sound, humble, but ready to go at the same time, ready to go to contribute type players. And speaking of that, I want to jump over to John Fitzpatrick, tight end, blocking tight end. I'm going to tell you what he's going to tell you what he's about and what he can do as well, and what he's willing to do for this team. Let's go ahead and run it.
I'd say I'm a dominant run blocker, and I'm excited to showcase my game in the passing game as well. I'm excited to contribute in any way that the coaches ask me to do on special teams units, on punt, KOR, KOC, whatever they ask me to do, and then on the line, hand in the dirt, and then split out wide blocking or making plays.
He's willing to do anything that he can to make this team better. And I know that some of the things he kind of said sound cliche. Some of the stuff does sound cliche, but I feel that if you really want to make this team, you just got to be about what you're talking about. And to listen to the other things that he said, most stuff was just basic questions about what he did at Georgia and this, that, and the third. But he sounded like that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a run blocking tight end. Listen, when what we have with all these big bodies on the outside that can run and block, guys who can be physical and catch the ball at the same time, John Fitzpatrick is exactly what fits that mold. And once again, he is one, like, these guys just knocked out the park with all these picks. These are the guys that you want to see on your team. Guys that are willing to be good at their craft and not only be better at everything else or make other people better based on what they're assigned to do or what they're asked of. I mean, what more could you ask for? I think he's going to be able to contribute because of his run blocking skills and possibly even special teams. People don't realize how important special teams is on a team at times. Some people forget how important that is. It's very important. How did Yeah, I didn't mean to pull that up so quick. But people don't realize how important that is. Finally, we're going to talk about Drake London. He has a couple of soundbites that I find very, very, very interesting. We'll pull those up in a second. But when you look at another guy like this, 6'4", 200 plus pounds, who's willing to, go up and get the ball, willing to run the block, willing to do anything to make the team better, but also wants to be able to win football games. What more? Like I said, I can't say enough. What more could you ask for? Drake London is right here going to be talking about, what he can do, what he's about, what he's going. I can't even remember what he's actually saying. I'm just going to run the clip, and I'm pretty sure you can't do nothing but be impressed with this. I'm gonna run the clip right now.
Oh, it's been great. I'm actually one of his dorm mates right now.
I want to take that back. This is him talking about Desmond Ridder. So I just remembered that. So let's run that back. And he's going to talk about him and Desmond Ridder getting on the same page of just learning being in the NFL so early on in the, in rookies mini camp.
Oh, it's been great. I'm actually one of his dorm mates right now in the dorm, and we've just been going over plays, chopping it up, and honestly, he's like me in a sense. We're on the same mission, and I'm happy we came in together.
What have you? I guess you guys realized that you have connections in some ways, or like what have those first couple of days been like you said, chopping it up?
I don't think we have a choice but to connect. And it's just he's a better guy. He's a guy I want to be around, and he's a guy all of us want to be around. He pulled us over right now and was like, we messed up a lot today. And that's just part of being a rookie in day one. But he brought us over there and was like, hey, we got to get this shit together. Excuse my language. But we got it together, and that's just the leader he is. So I'm following his footsteps.
That's awesome. Early on, Ridder, and I talked about this in the last episode. Ridder's already saying that, hey, man, we messed up. We got to get better. He pulled those guys aside and told them, hey, look, man, we got to get better for the next one. You can't like that's what a leader is about. We just going back to what I said about Desmond Ridder. That's what leadership is about. And for him and I think Fitzpatrick and Drake London to be roommates together in the dorms for this minicamp, this is exactly the type of camaraderie you want to get. And I think there's no coincidence that they were all put in the room together to learn one another, to get the chance to understand what they're trying to do. Or what they're understand each other for what they need to do. So I'm here for it, and I love to hear the fact that what Drake London and is taking in from Desmond Ridder, a young rookie that's trying to learn the system himself. And the last thing I want to talk about before I close, I want to let you listen to the last thing Drake London said, and I think this is very important. This is very important because this is the mentality, once again, you will want. These guys are about their business. They're about trying to make things happen here in Atlanta, something that should have happened some years ago, but we don't want to talk about that. But you got to start somewhere, and drafting these guys seem like there isn't the right steps. I'm going to roll this last clip of what Drake London said, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts.
Super Bowl, that's the last thing you can get to, Super Bowl, Yellow Jackets. You can name all the crazy things you want to name, but at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to build, and that's the end goal, I think, for any team in the NFL, and we want to do it. So that's the end goal.
Once again, Super Bowl. That's what they want. So that question was meant basically like, what is the same mission that him and Desmond Ridder are on? Because with them being in roommates, they decided they're going to be on the same mission to do something special. And that's the mission. That man not only said Super Bowl, he want Yellow Jackets. And he said Yellow Jackets, meaning him and Ridder are trying to get Yellow Jackets. Ridder already said, I don't know how true this is because, contracts and money can all change all that. That man said that he doesn't want to leave Atlanta until he was a Super Bowl. That's what Desmond Ridder said before minicamp even started. Is it possible? Absolutely it's possible. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the Falcons are never win. I'm not going to say that. That's for what the other people that want to be negative and want to be, argumentative and have these debate shows and that on the webs that want to. I'm not here for the debate stuff. All I want to know is, hey, what these guys are saying, Let's process what they're saying, and let's see if it manifests on the field. If it don't manifest on the field, we're going to have to make some changes. But as fans, we want to win, and we want to hear stuff like this. We want to see these guys do what they do to win games. Now, other guys who did talk, like Troy Anderson, D'Angelo Malone, and Justin Schaefer, I didn't get too much out of them with sound bites, but I'm going to give you a little synopsis of what I feel like they said. Troy Anderson, he didn't say much. It was a lot of cliche stuff, but when you look at him, to me, I put it on Twitter. He seems like he's to me, I get a vibe like he's Tim Tebow if Tim Tebow wanted to play other positions, which, don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. I think Tim Tebow would have been phenomenal back in 2011, 2012, any around that time, and if he actually decided to play something other than quarterback, he would have been a phenomenal player. But he was too stubborn. He wanted to play quarterback and see what it got him. But nevertheless, I think Troy Anderson's going to be really special because he looks like a guy that wants to just go out there and play. He wants to be competitive. He wants to do whatever it takes to win. D'Angelo Malone kind of gave me a lot of Ebiketie vibes. Wanted to, learn a lot, learn some techniques, let people know that he's not only just a linebacker, he likes to pass rush as well. So he's going to be one of the linebackers coming off the edge. And Justin Schaefer is just letting you know that he's learning the system. He's learning what he needs to do on the offensive line and try to get some things done to make a spot on the team. And I think all these guys are going to make a spot on the team. I think all these draft picks are going to be contributing in some way. Just like last year, all these draft picks was able to find their way on the team. Everybody got signed, thanks Julio Jones. Yeah, everybody got signed last year, and most of them contribute for the most part. And we don't have the cap space issue this time because Fontenot is doing a phenomenal job with the cap space, and he is in the position now to sign this draft class. And look, we just got another receiver. You know what? I'm gonna make a video about that. What is up with all these receivers that we get? I just thought about that. We just got another receiver after Brian Edwards. It is crazy, but that's another story for another day. We don't need to keep talking about the receivers. But when you really look at this, these guys they really have something special here. And it's awesome to see. And I don't see where the problem is. Maybe you see something I don't. Nevertheless, let me know down in the comment section. Let me know in the feedback section of the podcast avenues. If you like this content, hit the like button. Share this content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. If you want to give me feedback in the comment section or on the podcast avenues. Give me a 5-star rating if you think I did a good job. Share this content if you think other people need to listen to it. I think other people need to listen to it. Hit that share button at the bottom of any of these pages where you're listening or watching this at, and send it to somebody that may not know what's going on. That's going to be it for me. I'm going to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. I hope you guys understand what the Falcons are doing over here. Be happy with the process that's going on right now. I mean, all the stuff that happened in the past, clearly right now, it looks like all that is out the window. This looks totally different now. And for right now, take it for what it is and enjoy it in small doses because things don't really matter until after preseason. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good and wonderful Tuesday. You guys be blessed. Peace.